Money can take you to a bar. Money can take you to a place that you didn't want to. Or that money then becomes your God. And poor. That's the sad part. Poor people are controlled by money. Rich people control the money.
Hey,
they instruct the money.
Sunday mornings have never been this lit. Mr. T on Beats from Heaven on Yaron FM.
Let me welcome my guest to the studio. Dumela se.
Dumela, Mr. T.
How are you?
Arde.
Hey. How was the festive season and how is 2025 looking?
I think 2025 is looking great. Continuation.
I get it.
Yeah, but I think the festival was great. It was a bit relaxing. Unwind the family and did a bit of traveling.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm very honored to have you in the building. Sometime last year, I was scrolling on TikTok. I'm someone who loves to read and study, knowledge of all kinds, but in these past few months and years,
yes.
I listen to the likes of, Dr. Mike Murdoch, Vustembe Kwayo, Gary V, and it was breathtaking to know there are local men mo Botswana who can give us financial advice. Alibile scenario sa Botswana. Mo Botswana, the pula is handled differently from the dollar and the rand. And it was just so refreshing to talk to someone who even knows the struggles that we go through.
Yeah.
So God bless you and congratulations even on the achievements that you've had so far. Their lives being touched. I've looked at all your podcasts and the views are looking absolutely amazing.
Yeah. No, thank you so much. I think for me, it has always been issue because I've been in financial services for quite some time.
Yes, sir.
And when you are there, you get to experience variations in terms of right? And then you see all of the successful businesses, you see all of the successful people. But it's quite relatable, right? Because for the longest time, I remember even in university, the accounts, and in that book, we have some corner shop in Manchester. Mr. Brown is running it. So even when you are reading the description of the question, you can't even imagine a corner shop in Manchester, how it looks like, how many people get in there, a railway station, a subway, and you haven't seen that. So by the time you are already confused by the description, you see. So you can imagine how ha bokete maphakela wa imagine batho ba go loga kombi ba go thawogela ba reka magunya le 10. So even when they show you the figures, you are like, okay, no, but this is reasonable. Mama le go ka rekisa magunya le 100 mo letsatsing.
I like that.
By the time you get there, you are already put yourself in that scenario. So I thought it was very important for someone a bit of corporate background,
yes,
to go out there, because it's a sacrifice that we make, because corporate people don't live corporate,
for sure.
They're in there for good, but somebody had to get out.
Yes.
About Samaya Huruta, it demystifies the language altogether, because I want to say
wow.
Multiply, that's it.
Wow.
Right? But in the language of money, there's a lot of sophistication, but it doesn't help anyone.
Wow. You mentioned something powerful, which I'm going to touch on later on after these main questions. And then there are some key words that I'm just going to ask you the definition of, that you've mentioned just now. Mehela, I love that someone, I thought I was the only one who our education system. Case studies. It's always something happening overseas.
Yeah.
You will never see college textbook airing. Semama ngorekisa cool time morenking. This is how much he made. Yada yada yada. Well, like primary or anywhere else. So I think let's go straight into it. The first question that I want to ask: why are poor people poor and rich people rich? You can take it from any angle that you want, and you can take your time with it.
Yeah. So, Ghana, here's the thing about poverty, lukumo. There's a line which says that God creates people.
Okay.
He creates people. Some become rich, some become poor, depending on how they think. Right. So we look at rich people a be gantsi ra akanya gore ke batho ba e leng gore ba hilwe sengwe. They have been given an advantage, right? But truth is, ha re dira dipalo di re supentsha gore bontsi ja bahumi ke batho ba e leng gore ba godile hela ka most people. Ke batho ba e leng gore they went out there and got what they knew belonged to them. Because I get we live in the kingdom of God and everything has been designed for all of us. So how do you go and get it? You need to capacitate yourself. So with enough knowledge, you will be able to see the things that have been around you, but also the bone, because that is what knowledge does. The moment I start teaching you about a Mercedes today, and how it behaves and how it moves, all of a sudden you will start seeing it. And you've been seeing a Mercedes every day. You were just not seeing what I taught you. You see, so it's the same with education. How about a smaller business? We business. You just see a lot of sophisticated things, structures. You feel a lot until you go ruta business, and then oh, okay, so that's why this person and Mariana. That's why, and then every morning, allow more trafficking. You start seeing businesses cropping up everywhere, ideas everywhere, right? It's just a thing of knowledge. So poor people remain poor because the real poverty is in the mind. It's in the mind, right?
As more accounting, as more party.
No. I was talking to my mom just the other day in Neruaka. Mama, I told you we should never ever say we don't have money, right? Money is in the mind. We always have money, right? It's in the mind. Because I just need to activate the mind and then I get that money. So the money that is all over the world, it doesn't belong to anyone. It doesn't belong to anyone.
Powerful.
Because today it's in your account, tomorrow it's in my account. It just depends on how I'm going to extract it from your account using the mind, right? So poor people are poor because they are not knowledgeable. They don't make it, they don't go out of their way to acquire knowledge, right? And acquiring knowledge requires big sacrifices, you know. And we talk about sacrifices that rich people make, and bunsi jaba these people but sacrifice about or bana lidinoha and stuff like that.
Yes.
But truth is, what the idea of sacrifice is true. You can't become rich without sacrificing something. It is what they sacrifice which we get wrong, right? They sacrifice time with friends, because if you are acquiring knowledge, you have to spend time reading books, going for seminars. So how can you and you know, they don't spend a lot of time drinking out. Right? Sometimes they even sacrifice time to spend with their kids. Right, because it's greater. Achieve, and spending time with your kids it's nice. Spending time with your spouse is nice, right? With your family. So they make those sacrifices, and they know that they can't achieve anything without making those sacrifices. Now look at most poor people. Most poor people spend a lot of time with friends. They spend a lot of time with family. They spend a lot of time talking about things on a daily basis. No improvement. They spend a lot of time trying to holiday, relax, entertainment, right? So that is really the difference, right? A lot of rich people, you can spend 30 minutes with a rich person. A few minutes about let's talk about that guy. How do you know him? Or own a business? Do you think you can introduce me to him? So that's how they are.
So essentially, it's a habit situation. It's about your daily habits.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a quotable that I will take from this is, "My dear Wabata, I'm operating yaga Samuel. I'm operating yaga James.
Yeah.
Me ati.
Ati.
Me how similar buaore hayo." or you are locking your mind.
Absolutely.
I think that's powerful. Wow. Because at the end of the day, if a man today was to say, 30 days ago, or in the last 30 days, I've made a total of 75,000.
Yeah.
750.
Yes.
At the end of the day, the only difference is what? Number one, his habits. Number two, his mind wasn't locked and confined to 750 bullets. It was broadened. I personally observed in our neighborhood, in our families and all that. There's this dangerous statement, which I only heard was dangerous or realized was dangerous later on. Then when we were young, when you grow up and start to learn a few things, you realize that this is a painful and deadly statement. What are some myths that you think we need to get rid of concerning money?
Most Africans tumelo.
Yes.
And how ka ela thoko irle re simola go tsena thata mo tumelong.
Yes.
Ne re bata go tsena in the spiritual and then leaving any other thing behind, right?
Yes.
But I think we failed was to really understand the book that we read as believers. As an example, re bala Bible, and they have never really read the Bible, right? They have gotten a verse and then they stuck to it, right? Money is the root of the love of money is the root of all evil. And then right? You can't serve two masters, right? You are either serving God or you are serving money. So they've always interpreted money as like some god, right? So when you follow money, you are not following God, but God created money. It's God who created money. And how when you read that scripture, the love of money, it speaks about when you love money, then you chase after money. Poor people chase after money, and they never get money because bar loads, right? And then what rich people do, they call money, they attract money. So how do you attract money? You bring forth an idea that will be consumed by the market, and then when that market agrees with how you are helping them, they reward you with money. That's then it makes you a magnet, right? You bring forth money. But when you keep on saying I want money, which would 100,000, which would 1 million, you will never get money, right? You come up with an idea. So when I sit down, I write a book. I'm not thinking I want 1 million. I'm thinking people need to read. I think people need this information, and then I put a book together, and then I put it in the market, make it attractive, so that people can love what they see, and then content is good content. Now, haba itelele gore it's good content. What will normally happen? Ke motho o ithetseng content e monate wa go bolela o mo. Now will be sitting there. I've already created a demand. That is when now money comes in. I will get to 1 million now. Okay, no, me go gore ke service batho ba lekana demanding me ke printed buka tse dintsi ke go dikgaolong ke ise go kae. That is how the million is going to come through. Right? So it's just a thing of changing how we think about money. Gore ole mo kreste gantsi ke rata gore ha ke bua le ba kreste a be ke ba ra kere ha gona go mo ileng gore na o ithela go ntshwabisa ya ka mo kresta le phuo, because modimo wa ga go bua gore ke ene ileng gore o una sengwe le sengwe go uta and everything.
Yes,
right? So ha ile gore modimo wa ga go dumela gore ke motsadi wa gago, go tayang gore motsadi wa gago a ba go tima di resources tsa gagwe, because na se ke sitseng se one ngwana o ileng gore o thoka tsebe mo lapeng, batsadi ba go bana le ditamelo. Ha se gantsi ngwana tenga ka neelwa koloi.
Yes.
Kana ngwana tenga ka neelwa password ya account go tinya ngwana ke tsa karata ke ewe go tsa madi. Go go nna le ngwana o neelwa ndutse o mongwe o iterile ntsebo ha ka neelwa dutse. It's the same thing in the kingdom of God. When you are poor, it's because God doesn't trust you with his resources. ha ka go neela key. So all the people that we hate re ke ba humi bile batho ba teng ke bo Satan go lebega o kare ke bone ba modimo ba neetseng key go lebega le batho ba utwa
le ba ba itsing
ba setse ra bone morago sente. You see, so we need to get rid of all of these myths of motho ga humile go ra gore there's some form of evil because now I look at a lot of rich people and I'm like, thank God we have these people because they create solutions. We have chain stores, but we have chain stores. How drive a long distance, but right? A lot of communities are being served. Right? We have people who sat down, created a car so that Oscars are 3 days. We have people who sat down, created an airline so that continent before no 6 months dangerous. These are good people. They sat down, they said, we want to sacrifice ourselves to create something that will provide a solution to God's children.
And I love the fact that you said, listen, scripture as a thing, it's their love which is the root of all evil. Yes. I always want to get mad.
Not the man.
The love of money is the root. Money answers unto all things.
Yeah.
I think let's talk about practical things. Right now already is either or but with a very low income, someone whose life is dominated by poverty. What is the first thing they need to do?
Yeah, so I've done a couple of trainings for Batuaba Barkaramba Magala Madia Kotasi.
Yes.
Baba Magala Mbuma 1 point something, 2 point something, right? Mohaburun.
Okay.
Kimadia Longora Arkara Kotas. But I want Madia Maninyani. That's the thing, right? Akona madia manyenyane. So motho a teng re ka re wa perwe ke khumanego because of ditshwetso tse ileng gore o di tsere, right? If I'm giving you 2,000 a month, you have an option of where to stay, right? And gore le kwa o yang go nna teng wa go nna ka tselentseng jang a re he se kae motho wa mogalang 2,000 chances a o ka hirisa room ye leng gore o ka iduela gongwe 750 ha ile gore ga utshwane le kwa ile gore o bereka teng a kere mo go ditshane yana. So ha ile gore o duela 750 and you feel like 750 is almost half of what you get paid.
Yes.
Then you might consider gore o share le motho room ye. Right? But normally what we do but kana ke motho motho na hanga ka share, but circumstances don't permit you to live ya ka o bata gone jana, not in the future gone jana. But you can also create the same future ha o ka tsaya ditshwetso tse ileng gore ga se tsone gone jana, right? So gone jana ona le semo se sentseng yalo, so you share a room lotho di mo tsenya bolao ka mo tsenya bolao ka le share stuff o itele gore cost alona e ka nna ya nna bo 400 pula ka kgwedi for rental, right? And then now you have an opportunity ya go reka di combo tse pedi kana le reke combo and other things ka 500 pula o mongwe, and then you still remain with 1,000, right? And then le hirise go bapala ha ile gore le berekela teng, so you walk to work, so you have 1,000 that you can actually save every month if you are aggressive, right? Earning 2,000, right? Why do you do that? You do that because at the end of the year you will be 12,000 richer. Now what can you do with 12,000? 12,000 you can lend it out to your colleagues Kuturo, because people who are reckless with money, they will always be there, right? When you start lending out 12,000, making 20% per month of that 12,000, right? That 20% would be more than it would be more than 2,000, right? Yes, every month in interest.
Yes, sir.
So now not only are you earning 2,000, but you are also getting 2,000 extra as interest. This is only your second year, right? Now with an extra 2,000, maybe you can just get that privacy and pay $750. Maybe now you deserve that privacy. Or you know what, I want to push this for 5 years and see, because I'm still young. right? And then you do that continuously. You save 12,000 every month, and then your loan book keeps on increasing, right? Ha ile gore gongwe o bona gore go adimisa madi go is becoming too risky. In 2 years o tshwantse gore a bo kgone go reisa madi a leng gore a ka go rekela koloi. Koloi e leng gore e ka re ha o chaisa a bo taboga ka yone o le mo in drive or something.
Yes.
O tsenya madinyana. All these things are choices, right? So poverty, it's always in the mind. The moment you tell yourself, or you will become poor because you will stay there. Your mind will not allow you to think, right? But you know, there's no principle which is more powerful than that.
Yes, sir. Yes.
There is no principle which is more powerful than saving. Now, saving, I always take it back to Genesis. When Adam and Eve were left in the Garden of Eden, and they were told, you can consume everything. Consume, but just don't consume this one plant. And why Mudimana asa protected that plant ka some shield or baska by access? We to hetse mule bali gore le yone ba khone go access ha ba batla go access. But what he was trying to teach them was discipline. We will leave it with you. You will make the decision whether to take it or not. It's the same with our mind. Your employer gives you all your mind, and then you make the decision. It's your choice. It's your discipline. You can't be forced to do that.
Yes.
Right? And once you are disciplined enough to hold on to something that looks so good, something that you can consume, which is yours, but you don't consume it, that gives you power. That is where power comes from.
Discipline.
And that's why bahumi they have that discipline power. They can sit with millions in an account abebasa a holiday. That's power. Right? Rona hela ha ona le 2000 temo accounting 2000 wa go khokgoisa ka moso bona go bokete ka moso bona go bokete, right? You are being controlled by an object. We have idolized things. Na kongwe ha go bua ka bo idolizing things ha re khone go lemoga gore ha o bona o khona go laolwa ke madi gore madi ke modimo wa gago. Money can take you to a bar. Money can take you to a place that you didn't want to. That money then becomes your God. And poor. That's the sad part. Poor people are controlled by money. Rich people control the money.
Hey,
they instruct the money. So those are things that we really need to look at. But I always emphasize saving, and I have heard so many times, sorry, but you can't become rich when you don't save. And I always say you can't become rich until you have learned the discipline of saving.
Yes.
You learn the discipline of saving first, and then we can later on start speaking about sophisticated things like investments. A lot of people don't deserve to be having a conversation about sophisticated investments. Like, you don't have a savings account. How can you get 10 pula from the 1,000 pula that you earn and put it in a savings account? How can you account negative? Because of the bank charge, but you want us to sit down and talk about investments. We can't. You are always on a negative.
And you are in a cycle and a circle.
Yeah.
You are reminding me of a Bible verse which I think Tota, it will help someone right now, at least to go from level 0 to level 1, about pleasure.
Yeah.
This discipline we're talking about, which will end up becoming financial discipline, you have to master yourself when it comes to pleasure. Pleasure is good. We're humans. Pleasure is not a bad thing, but when it controls you, you are lost. You are completely lost. Proverbs chapter 21 verse 17. Yare. Whoever loves pleasure will be a poor man. He who loves wine and oil will not be rich. I repeat, whoever loves pleasure will be a poor man. He who loves wine and oil will not be rich. Essentially, how kakawa saver if you are obsessed with pleasure? How kakawa saver? Because money buys any kind of pleasure that you want. you are an author. One of the hats that you wear is that of an author, and these several books that you've written. I read about them when I was looking at your profile. Which one would you like to give us right now? You know what? I must at least take something out of my salary and invest in my financial knowledge. Kireke buka yaga Mr. Seatla Ratshosa, and just start to grow myself and understand more about this thing called saving and called investing.
Yeah. So the book Eribu and Tata specifically about such things, principles of wealth creation.
Principles of wealth creation.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So more, we cover 6 key principles. Which is the principle of earning. You can't create wealth before you have learned how to earn.
Yes.
We teach you how to earn, different ways of earning.
Yes.
And then we teach you the second principle, which is the principle of saving, different ways of saving, where to save, how to save, why you need to save. We cover also biblical principles and principles from the Torah. In that book, right? Because they speak a lot about money. And then after saving, we teach you the principle of investing. We teach you how to invest, types of investments, risky investments, low risk investments, where to start, right? And then from there we teach you the principle of risk management, which basically covers insurance, types of insurance, risk covers, pure insurance, jalo jalo.
Yes.
And then we go on to the principle of giving, which is principle number 5. That once you have learned all of these things, you have mastered the first 4, now you need to learn to give, because giving is a very, very powerful tool that speaks to your own self, your own heart, what God has given you, what touches you, right? That is those are the things to give to. But the reason why we put giving there, we have seen a lot of Africans, they give for the wrong reasons and they remain poor even when they give, because they don't understand that giving is actually a wealth creation principle. They think that if you just give, you will get back in multiples, but that is not it, right? There is a formula of giving, so we teach that in the book. And then we close it with the principle of estate planning.
Yes, sir.
Which is a principle that says that you are responsible also for the next generations to come. Not just this generation. So you need to prepare wisely. You need to make sure that you have wills, you have proper trusts in place, all of those things, because you have seen in Africa, when you don't do this right, the family, after you have passed, families fight, families kill one another, it becomes chaos, right? You are way worse than a witch. Mo botshelong ba gago ka gore go tsamaya ga gago go tise mathata a eleng gore a tseneletse
a divide
lelelapa. And a lot of people, will always say, me kana na ki dirile part ya me ke hitile. No. That's the thing about human beings. Human beings are like God. We are created like God. Our responsibilities go way beyond us. And anyone o sentse ngana le tumelo gore just do your part and go. That person responsibility, because you see, when you think about the next generations, your behavior today will be totally different. You are thinking about your son, you are thinking about his son and late generations. That's why batho ba bana le khumo ntse ba khona go itshwara ga bone go laolwa ke gore ba lebeletse ko pele gore, but if I mess up now, what will happen to the next generation? So Principles of Wealth Creation is the book that you want to get. But we also have a book, Masheleng. Masheleng is the first book that we wrote. We don't teach about savings and all of these principles. More, it was a life story.
Yes.
I thought I should start with a life story, so I put down my life story, how I was raised, the type of parents that raised me, other influences like uncles and aunts, what I saw, the meets community. They were built in our subconscious to an extent business, because all of these things that we have been taught, it's very difficult, right, to get out of that. So I just wanted people to read it and try to put themselves in the situation where I mean like a yes, because the same way. Either you are raised by middle income parents or you are raised by low income parents. Most of us, we are not raised by rich parents.
For sure.
Yeah, so we have had the same struggles. We grew around the issues in China.
I love it. So you heard those two. There's Principles of Wealth Creation and there's Masheleng. He's going to give us a number and an online media handle in case you want to reach out and get yourself a book. I highly encourage you to do so and fill up your mind with the right kind of wisdom. None of them got me rich. What have you done personally? What number can they call you on if they'd like to purchase a book?
Number they can use 760 59082.
Please say it again.
760 59082.
And if you're able, please get both. One will give you one angle, one will give you the other angle. It is Masheleng as well as Principles of Wealth Creation. This is the foundation that you need. If you feel, or maybe your parents, your upbringing, you didn't get enough of that, now is your time. No more excuses. And then I think I'm just gonna before I let you go, I just want to get out these three words, which I assume maybe those who didn't go to any kind of financial college or anything, back out to a definition so that it can help them maneuver all these topics. Number one, what is a mortgage?
A mortgage is a loan facility. So regarding it's a type of loan.
Yes.
That is a mortgage. E kana ntu ye o nna mo go yone residence, e kana a commercial property le ngoro direla business mo go yone. So banka ya go inela ba go rekela ntu yeo and then abu iduela over a period of time. Ke yone loan ya hela ile ngore e na le period e telele thata gore o ka iduela. But period ya teng e hilwe wena gore in the option mo go wena gore gongwe o ka kgona go duela madi a manyenyane over a period of time until we hits. Ha se gore gate o tshwanna ke gore o tsamaye period eo. That is
okay.
One thing that a lot of people confuse. But ko wena o laolang gore a go tse sebaka kana yang.
What is insurance?
Insurance ke motshelo. Ke motshelo o khobokanya madi a batho gore ba ileng gore ba ka thagolwa ke mathata a go tsewa mo potong yone eo gore go thuswe yo ileng gore o na le mathata. Ke yone insurance ke motshelo le go tsengwa mo potong go atwe the premiums of the many pay for the claims of the few. Gore o ska wa na wa save 1 million o le no ska gore go tsa sebaka selele me incident e ka nna diragala ka moso because ke motshelo ha o ka diragala ke incident ka moso o joine maabane 1 million wa ntshiwa wa monelwa batho wana o le no suno ka skwa khona.
I love the simplicity because batho kana ba bua si English ya ba bua le rona mo di video ntse. What are shares? What is a share?
Share ke re ka re ke seabe ke bonthabongo ba komponi. Ga ile gore ke na le komponi a ke re ke tsa share certificate e na le 100 shares. Ke le one go na gore ke own 100%. Motho mongwe ga ba ta go reka o ka nna ta go reka di shares tse 10 ka 10 pula go ra go tabana le sabe mo company ya me o tabana le ownership ya bokalo. So le gone ko Botswana Stock Exchange ha o re wa go reka diabe wa bo ra gone gore o reka bonthabongo ba komponi e leng gore e tabe e rekisa diabe kana kwa teng. So ha komponi ya teng e dira sente go ra gore le wena o bona bonthabongo ba selekanyo se o rekileng ka sona abe nna dipoelo tsa gago. So it's a share. Ha o reke hela bo thokomolo ga o reka o lebeletse komponi o re tsa majang le wena o isetse morago wa e thaloganya akere so that ka moso ska tso go lela or nna re nkere bona dividends ke nna go to batho bantse ba rialo because they don't understand gore ba dirileng ga ba reka sabe. Go ka diragala on the positive, go ka diragala on the negative where company o rekileng sabe mo go yone e sa diriseng. Ha e sa diriseng go ra gore le wena o na le sabe mo teng because you have a share.
Beautiful. I love how self-explanatory all these terms are. Please go to Facebook, to YouTube, and search Masheleng. There's so much video content there which you will benefit from every single day. I mean, it's YouTube, it's free. It's free, but do make sure you purchase the two books, Principles of Wealth Creation, Masheleng. Your life will never be the same. Mr. Seatla Ratshosa, thank you. From the bottom of my heart, I think this is one of the most beautiful interviews I've ever been through. You're already saying, ask shares, insurance. These instructions that you've just given us.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, brother.